Draw the outer corners of your buttocks in. Lift your abdominal wall. So that's right above the pubic bone. Lift and pull that in and slightly up. And then lengthen your spine. Climb up through the spine as you lift your sternum. Spread your collarbones. And descend the shoulder blades down the back. And so now you climbed up through your spine all the way to the crown of the head. And then you realize, uh-oh, my hip flexors or my hips creases are starting to tighten and the thighs may be starting to lift. So you have to go back down. You have to undo that tension or that tightness or that gripping that is occurring, and then once again climb up through the spine. So in yoga, there's this concept of doing and undoing. I have to do certain actions to get into the pose. And then once I'm in the pose, I have to reflect, as Patanjali said, the pose has to be Sthira Sukham Asanam, quiet and ease-filled. I have to reflect on where I'm doing too much and where I have to undo that action. And the converse to that, of course, is I also have to reflect on those parts of the body that may not be doing enough, where the pose starts to unravel or become undone because that part of the body is lazy or inattentive or weak or just not joining the plan. So this concept of doing and undoing is a deeper part of your yoga practice. We don't teach this to beginner students because beginners need to know where their limbs are in space, how to coordinate their arms and their legs, how to get into the shape or the line of the pose. But none of you are beginners. All of you have been practicing yoga for quite a while. So your practice has to be deeper. What is this pose, this sitting pose that I've done 65,000 times, have to teach me about myself and my practice and my body today? Yoga is about the now, not about what you did yesterday with your practice or what you're going to do in the future. You have to be fully present to what's happening in your body right now. So as you observe, notice what you have to do or undo. Yoga is not about the physical poses. We use the physicality of the poses to transform ourselves. And that transformation, of course, is physical, that's true, but we're also looking to transform ourselves psychologically, behaviorally, socially. Because where I grip or react on my mat is oftentimes how I'm gripping or reacting in life. Or where I'm overdoing or underdoing on my mat is often where I'm overdoing or underdoing in life. Your poses teach you, if you are reflecting on them, about your habits, your sanskars. And as yoga is a transformational practice, we want to transform those things. But first, we have to be aware of them. So now take your hands, Bring your fingers cup-shaped to the blankets. Once again, press down into the blankets to ascend the spine. Draw the outer corners of the buttocks in. The abdominal wall moves in and up. The sternum lifts. The collarbones broaden. The shoulder blades slide down the back. And now as you keep this, again, observe, where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? And then keeping the lift of the spine, gently begin to release the pressure of the fingers and notice whether the hips begin to tighten again or the legs start to tighten. Let go. As you bring the hands into prayer position, and then close your eyes. Contemplate this idea of doing and undoing in this pose. Observe your body and your breath. Be fully present now. Not in the past, not in the future. What's happening now with your body and your breath? And then we'll chant the sound of Om. Inhaling. On your next exhalation, bow your head. Release your hands down to your thighs, palms up. Lift and lengthen your sternum. Roll your head back to center. And then slowly open your eyes. Okay. Now, we're going to get started first. A couple of you have some issues with your neck. So we're going to do something that I've done once before in my workshop, one of my workshop classes, but we're going to, some of you have, it's brand new too, so and we can all benefit from working on the neck. So come off your blankets and just sit for a moment on your buttocks, on your mat, okay? And then what I want you to do is observe your spine here, how you're sitting, where you are on your buttock bones. You don't need to correct anything or do anything. This is now a little bit of undoing. Just observe, don't do anything. How your spine is lifted, how your back feels, etc. How your neck feels here. Now, from here, turn your head to look to the right. Look over the right shoulder. You're not forcing it. You're not trying to see how far you can go, but observe the range of motion that you have in your neck, whether there are any twinges or tweaks or pain through the side of the neck. Just observe that. Then come back to center. Turn your head to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Observe that. How does the left side feel compared to the right? Is there tension? Is there strain? Can you go as far with the turn or not? And then come back to center. Okay, now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be lying down on your back. Very, very easy way to start the practice. It'll be a tough practice today, but an easy way to start the practice. Okay, you're going to be interlacing your hands with the four fingers at the base of your occiput. So right, the occiput is that bump on the back of your head, and if you go slightly below that, you'll feel the base of the skull there, okay? That's where those fingers are going to be interlaced. You're going to be lying flat on your back like this. Very easy, no strain. The hands are right behind the head, the elbows are out to the side, you're relaxing, and you're looking directly at the ceiling. Now, if everyone is already in that position, then I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay, now your face is to the ceiling, your hands are interlaced behind your head, you're not straining, you're not forcing, you're not doing anything. All you're going to do is turn your eyes, not your head, your eyes to the right, and keep your eyes looking as far to the right as you possibly can. I'm timing you. You're going to hold this for a minute. Now, some of you who've done this before with me realize that what we're doing is we're stimulating cranial nerves that actually transit through the back of the skull. When you turn your eyes to the right, you're now stimulating your ocular nerve. These nerves affect the tension and the strain that you feel in your neck sometimes. So hopefully by doing this, keep your eyes to the right, not turning the head, you'll see a difference. Notice if your eyes get watery or you blink or it feels difficult to do. Okay, now bring your eyes back to the ceiling, pause for a minute. Don't tense up with the shoulders, the arms, anything. You're just relaxing here. Now, turn the eyes to the left. Same thing, you look as far as you can. You're not turning the head. You notice whether your eyes turn more easily, the eyeballs turn more easily from one side to the other. And then of course you're noticing whether it's uncomfortable in the eye or the eye waters or you blink or you notice some sensation somewhere else in the body. Ten more seconds, keep the eyes to the left. Good, now bring your eyes back to center. Pause. Then you're going to slowly roll to your right side. Come back up to your comfortable seated position, the way you started, just sitting on your mat. Close your eyes for a moment and just notice the quality of your nervous system and your mind. And then open your eyes, turn your head to look over the right shoulder. Is it different from before? How is it different? Turn your head back to the center. Exhale, turn your head to the left. And again, notice the difference. Is it better? Is it different? What's changed? And then come back to center. Okay. So I hope that might have been helpful for some of you. This is based on polyvagal theory, which I'm not going to go into, but you're stimulating the vagus nerve as well as these cranial nerves, and it can have a very powerful effect on the neck and on the nervous system. Okay. Okay, Kristen? All right. Okay, so now we're going to get started. You're going to take, if you have a second yoga mat, you're going to take that second yoga mat and you're going to roll up the mat as tight as you can. If you don't have a second yoga mat, you're going to use a blanket instead. Okay, but I want the blanket roll very, very tight. So we don't want a very loose connection. Okay, then you're going to take that blanket roll, you're going to place it under your ankles, and you're going to place your knees together, your feet together, And you're going to sit back so that your buttock bones extend beyond your heels. So I could sit like this and just tuck my buttock under and sit on my buttock bones, but I don't want to do that. I lengthen my buttock bones back, I hold the mat, I extend my buttock bones beyond my heels, and then I sit back. So the purpose of the blanket and the mat is to help open the front of the ankles. Okay, then from there, swing the arms behind you, interlace your hands. Now, draw the abdominal wall in and up, just as like we did when we were sitting. Right above the pubic bone, pull it in and up. Lift your sternum, broaden your collarbones. Allow the shoulder blades to slide down the back, and then extend your arms behind you. And breathe. Don't throw the ribs forward. Here, notice where do I need to do more or undo? Is my belly dropping forward? Can I keep my sternum lifted? Breathe. And then exhale, bring the arms back down. Change the interlace. Once again, roll the shoulders back. Draw the abdominal wall in and up. Lengthen your tailbone to the floor. Lift your sternum, broaden your collarbones. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back, and then pull the arms away from the buttocks. Can you go a little further? Once again, observing, where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Good. Exhale, bring the arms back down. Now, you're going to take this blanket, roll, or mat, and you're going to be putting it behind your knees. However, this is probably too thick for many of us. I have to unroll a fair bit of the blanket, of the mat, because it's too firm, and it's a little bit challenging. So, take your blanket or your mat roll. You're going to bring your head to the floor, move your hips forward, knees together, feet together, and get that blanket roll or that mat way up in the back of your knees, and then you have to hold it as you sit back. And then once you sit back, you have to say to yourself, ugh, is that too much for me? Do I need to let a little bit more out? This is opening up your calves, whether you want them opened or not. The knees together, feet together. Good, now release the buttocks to the heels. Press the thighs down. Lift your chest, abdomen in and up, tailbone lengthening. And then bring your arms out to the side. Wrap the right arm on top of the left and hug yourself. And then walk your fingers behind to your shoulder blades. Lift your elbows up so that they're at shoulder height. And then bring the arms forward and wrap your hands into Garudasana pose. Now what happens in Garudasana right away? The arms want to go down, the elbows want to go down, the fingers want to come back to the head. So here is a classic example where I have to do more. I have to lift those arms, I have to move the hands away from my head, draw the belly in and up, lengthen the sacrum to the floor, and then ask myself, is there some area where I'm gripping where I need to let go? Breathe. Good, then exhale, sweep the arms back out to the side. Change, sweep the arms across, left arm on top. Hug yourself and walk the fingers behind as far back as you can go to the shoulder blades. Then lift the elbows. Bring the hands apart, wrap, and come into Garudasana on the other side. And then once again, notice your habit. Do you collapse the chest? Do you need to lift the chest more? Move the elbows away more. Move the hands away from the face. Abdomen in, tailbone lengthening. Breath smooth and even. Good. And exhale, release the arms out to the side. Now, bring your arms down. Reach back with the right arm and take hold of the left elbow. Broaden the collarbones, belly in and up, lengthen the sacrum, shoulder blades down the back. Now move the right elbow, this elbow, forward, and then take the left hand and hold the right elbow. Spread the collarbones, draw the forearms into the back ribs. That's where your kidney band is. So draw the forearms in to lift the chest more. And then what's happening? Are you gripping in those thighs or those hip creases? Can you soften and release there? And if you do, how does that change the pose? Good. Then exhale, release the arms down. Bring the left arm behind. Take hold of that right elbow. Broaden the collarbones, sternum lifting, belly in and up, tailbone lengthening. Then from there, draw the left elbow forward and then sweep that right arm behind you and take hold of the left elbow. Roll the shoulders back, spread the collarbones, pull the forearms into the back ribs, into that kidney band to lift your chest more. And then where am I doing that I need to let go? Maybe it's the hip creases, those hip flexors. Maybe it's the thighs. Maybe it's the feet. Breathe. Good. Then exhale, release. Okay. Now come forward and then roll that mat up or that blanket up once again. And place it behind you, behind your toes on the mat. And then have a block nearby. Curl your toes under, feet together, knees together. Sit back on your heels and take your block and place it under your knees. Now press your thighs down. Lift the abdominal wall in and up, sternum up, release the shoulder blades down the back, open the back of the legs. If the heels are separating, use your thumbs to the outside of each heel and push your thumbs in. Stay there and breathe. Okay, and slowly release that. Bring your hands down. Now, roll your heels back to your blanket or your mat and release the heels down. And now wrap your hands or your arms around your shins and pull your shins towards your chest. Don't push your belly into your thighs. Draw your belly back. Descend the tailbone. For some of us, this is very easy. For others of us, it's hard. So again, where do I need to let go? Maybe those hip creases a little bit. Can I deepen in my hip sockets and let my buttock descend more? Then I get a little bit more opening. Where do I need to do less? Am I pushing or hardening the belly? Soften the belly, pull it back to the abdominal, back towards the spine, away from the front of the body. Good. Then take your block with your hands. Hold your block. Extend your arms forward. A little bit harder, perhaps. Can I still deepen those hip sockets? Where do I need to let go? Where do I need to do more? Good. Then bring the block down. Inhale the arms forward. And up, Utkatasana position with the arms. Lengthen the arms out from the low back. Deepen the hip sockets. Breathe. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Good. Then bring the arms down, slide the block away. Use your hands behind you to bring you off your blanket onto the mat, and then extend your legs forward to Dandasana. Press the thighs down, press the shins down, press the heels down. Thighs down, shins down, heels down. Open up the backs of the legs. Good. And then slowly release. Move your things off your mat, and you're going to come up to standing. Now, for those of you who can, adjust your screen so that I'll be able to see your legs, because we are going to do some standing poses. So here I'm adjusting my screen. You may not see my head for a little bit because I want you to see my feet, but make the adjustment so that it's a little bit easier for me to see you. And of course, if you want to hide, make it more difficult. Okay, so come to standing in mountain pose. Feet together. Hands on the hips for a moment. Roll the thighs in, the groins back. Lift the abdomen in and up. Sternum lifts, tailbone lengthens down the back. Now lift the ball of the right foot and the sole of the foot all the way to the heel. And then spread your toes and then lengthen that foot all the way out and back down. Keep the toes spread as you do that, so you're really grounding that right foot. Then lift the ball of the left foot. Lift the sole of the foot, come all the way back to that heel. Press that heel into the floor, spread the toes, and then lengthen the ball of the foot back down. Keep the toes connected. You should feel very, very grounded. Then release the arms down by your sides, simple Tadasana. Inhale the arms out to T position. Rotate the upper arm bones. Inhale the arms all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Go way up with the arms, press the feet into the floor, and then inhale, exhale, Utkatasana. Buttocks back, abdomen in, arms and chest up. Buttocks back, abdomen in, arms and chest up. Where do I need to do more? Can I soften in those hip creases more? Can I go a little deeper? Can I reach through the arms a little bit more? Breathe. Inhale, press into the feet. Slowly come back up. Exhale the arms all the way down. Stay in mountain pose. Once again. Inhale, arms out to T position. Rotate the upper arm bones. Extend the arms all the way up overhead. Lengthen and reach. Belly in. Lift the right above that pubic bone up. Lengthen through the arms more. Good. Inhale, exhale, Utkatasana. Thighs back. Thighs down, I should say. Buttocks back. Abdominal wall in. Arms lengthening. Chest lifted. Go up, up, up from the grounding of the feet. Breathe. Good. Press into the feet. Slowly come back up. Inhale, exhale the arms all the way down. Pause. Breathe. One last time. Inhale the arms out to T position. Rotate the upper arm bones. Reach through the arms as you lengthen up. Go all the way up. Lengthen the back body as much as the front body. Draw the pubic bone, the abdomen right above the pubic bone in and up. And then from there, inhale, exhale, Utkatasana. Now go deeper. You've been in the pose. You've done this as the third time you're doing the pose. How can you refine it? Have you learned where you're doing too much, where you need to do more? Breathe. Good. Inhale, press into the feet and slowly bring yourself back up. Arms down by your sides. Good. Okay. Now, step your feet a little bit wider, maybe about as wide as your hips. Still in Tadasana, so it's a wide leg Tadasana pose. Interlace your hands. Press your palms away. Now look at your upper arm bones and pull the upper arm bones in, lengthen through those inner elbows, so the arms are very, very straight. And then as the arms go up, the thighs go back. So reach the arms up, but pull your thighs back. Spread your feet. Lengthen through the arms. You should feel as if you're pushing the floor down with the feet and you're pushing the ceiling away with your palms. So make the ceiling 3 or 4 inches taller. Abdomen in. Good, and then exhale the arms forward and down. Change the interlace. Press the palms away. Now once again, look at the outer upper arm bones. Pull them in. Lengthen through the inner elbows. And now arms up, thighs back. Arms up, thighs back. Go up from the waist and go down from the waist. So this is another concept we deal with in yoga. Keep breathing, keep lengthening. The idea that in our yoga poses, one part of the body is moving in one direction, and another part, or the rest of the body, is resisting and moving in another direction. So feel as if the torso is being pulled and lifted up and away from the pelvis, and the pelvis is being pulled and lifted away from the trunk. Breathe. Good. And then slowly inhale, exhale the arms back down. Okay, bring the feet once more into Tadasana, classic position. Hook your thumbs. So I'm hooking the thumbs this way, the fingers are still spread. And now inhale the arms forward and all the way up. Squeeze the outer arms in. Lift your abdomen in and up. Now go up so much that your heels lift. Go way up. Keep lengthening and reaching. Breathe. And then exhale the heels back down. Bring the arms down. Change the hook of the thumbs. Inhale the arms forward and up. Squeeze the outer arms in. Lengthen the sides of the trunk so much that the heels lift. And now it's easy to lengthen the front of the body, but can you get longer through your back body? Keep lifting, keep lengthening, keep reaching. Good. Then exhale the heels down and release the arms down. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay. Come into table position, rotate your upper arm bones and go up into the pose. Now, as you go up into the pose, I want you to lengthen the outer corners of the hips back and up. Rotate the arms strongly and lengthen the sides of the trunk, back and up. Now come on to the balls of the feet, lift your heels high. Okay. Do that again. Pull the outer hips back and up. Rotate the arms and lengthen the sides of the trunk, back and up. Keep reaching. Now bring your awareness to the top 2 inches of your thigh bones, right near the hip crease. When you go to lower your heels, make the top of the thighs taller. So make that 2 inches of the thighs taller. Lift the thigh bones up higher as the heels begin to move back and down. And your armpits open a lot. And then you stay there and you breathe. Now you're in your classic down dog. So What's happening in dog pose? Where do I need to work more? Where do I need to work less? What often happens is that the legs aren't working enough. So you've got to keep your awareness on the top 2 inches of those thigh bones and keep them engaged. Keep moving them up and back. Otherwise, the weight shifts to the hands. Then what happens to the belly? Sometimes we push into the belly. The belly should be recessed. It should be pulled back gently towards the spine. It shouldn't be gripped, but it is somewhat engaged. It's not just hanging out there. Stay there and breathe. A couple more breaths. Good. Then bend your knees. If you're else in a forward bend. Big toes together, knees apart. Lengthen the hips back towards the heels. Release. Good, then inhale, slide your hands forward once again, downward facing dog. So take what you've learned from the first pose. Where were you doing that you needed to do less? Where were you not doing enough? Rotate the upper arm bones, curl the toes under, lift your hips, go up. Pulling the outer hips back, thinking about the tops of those thighs, top 2 inches of the thighs, lengthening them up and back. Arms and legs have to work equally. Hands and feet have to work equally. Am I gripping my throat, my tongue, and my jaw? Am I pulling my chin into my chest? Release the head. Let the head drop. Don't tighten the sides of the neck. We unconsciously take a lot of strain in our neck and our jaw. Let go there. Okay, now from here, walk your feet forward and come into a wide-legged Uttanasana. So feet as wide as your mat. Line up the outer edges of your feet with the sides of your mat. And then release your trunk down, knees straight, knees straight. Okay, so here we're in classic Uttanasana. So what happens in Uttanasana? The trunk has to release completely, but the legs have to go up. And what happens is we let the legs go. We don't engage the thigh muscles, or we start to bend the knees have to be poker straight. The thigh muscles have to be lifting and engaging. You have to be lengthening the top 2 inches of those thigh bones through the ceiling. But the torso, the trunk, softens and releases. The head releases. No gripping in the belly. No gripping in the back. If you need to use blocks for your hands. Couple more breaths. Okay, now walk your fingers out a little bit, just a couple of inches out, and lift your heels. Grow the top 2 inches of your thighs up into your hips. Lift the heels, breathe. Good, slowly lower the heels. Walk your hands back. Bring your hands to your hips, and then inhale, slowly come back up. Okay. All right, so if you, as usual, if you have any questions, I'm scrolling through at times. So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can wave frantically and I'll ask you, I'll mute you. Otherwise, we will
Yeah, hi. Your screen is down at your legs and your feet. Can you move it up so I can see your face?
I'm doing that, Sarah, because I want you to be able to see my legs, right?
Ah, okay. All right.
But I will adjust as we need to. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So now you're going to come back and we're going to start with standing poses in mountain pose. Ground the feet. Roll the thighs in. Draw the abdominal wall in and up. Lift your chest. Relax the shoulders. Broaden through the collarbones. Inhale, bend your knees, bend your arms, jump your feet wide apart. Ground your feet. Draw your belly in and up. And now hook your thumbs. Draw your arms forward and all the way up, lengthening the sides of the trunk. Go up, 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 pull the abdomen back to the spine. Don't let it drop forward. And now turn your right foot out and your left foot in. Bring your hands into T position. And then exhale, bend your knee to Virabhadrasana 2. Don't turn your head, look directly forward. So this is your first Vira 2 today. Where do you need to let go? Where do you need to do more? Feel the pose. Then press into the feet and slowly come back up. Pause. Inhale, exhale. Virabhadrasana 2. Lift your abdominal wall more, right above the pubic bone. Lift up there more. Bend a little deeper. So what happens here in Virabhadrasana 2 is we often bend by pushing the knee out. And when we do that, the hip tightens. So are you tightening in that hip? The thigh bone has to release. It has to let go. This is where we have to undo. And where we have to do more is we have to work with the legs, holding the pose, not the arms, but the legs. Press into the feet, slowly come back up. Pause. One last time. Bend to Virabhadrasana 2. Can you go deeper? What have you learned from the first two poses? Turn your head if that's okay for your neck. Stay there and breathe. Abdomen in. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Where is the pose being held? Inhale, press into the feet, straighten the knee, turn the feet, jump back together. Pause. Then lift the ball of the right foot, lift the sole until you're on the back of the heels, spread the toes, lengthen the sole of the foot forward, and release the toes down. Other side, lift the ball of the left foot, lift the sole, press the heel into the floor, spread the toes, and then lengthen and reach the sole of the foot forward. Bring the toes down. Breathe. Arms out to T position. Bend your knees, bend your arms, and jump your feet wide apart. Now from here, hook the thumbs the opposite way. Inhale the arms forward, all the way up. Lengthen the sides of the trunk. Pull your abdomen in and up, tailbone down. Keep all of that as you extend your arms to T position. Turn the left foot out and the right foot in. Inhale, exhale, bend to warrior 2. So how is this pose different? Stay there and breathe. Look forward, don't turn your head yet. Inhale, come back up. Pause. Then inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Once again, bend the knee. Where are you bending from? Years ago, I had a teacher say, don't bend by pushing the knee out. The bend in the knee comes from that back hip. It comes from the back hip moving into the pose and forcing this knee to bend. It doesn't come because I've pushed the knee out. And some of you are pushing out a little bit. Press into the feet, slowly come back up. Pause. Then one last time. Virabhadrasana 3. Can you push or bend from that back hip so that the pose stays vertical? You're sitting in your warrior 2 and you're at a 90-degree angle, maybe. Good. Breathe. Chest open. Tailbone down. Ellen and Carol, just a tiny bit more. Ellen, draw the abdominal wall in and up more. Good. Press into the feet. Slowly come back up. Turn the feet and then jump back together. Pause. When you're in mountain pose, regroup, reassess. What have you learned? Where's the energy flowing that it wasn't flowing before? Reconnect the feet. Re-roll the thighs. Belly in, tailbone lengthening. Then, arms out to T position. Bend your knees. Jump your feet wide apart. Pause here. Now, bring your hands down to your hips. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the abdominal wall pulling in and up. And now, turn your feet to the right for Virabhadrasana 1. So the right foot faces directly to the side wall. I'm sorry, I'll mirror you. And the back foot turns in slightly. Now from here, keep your hands on your hips. Bend that right knee. Go down into your warrior 1. Now this is a classic pose where there's too much doing or undoing. So here, use the thumbs on the back of your pelvis to pull the pelvis down. And when you pull the back of the pelvis down, you'll feel the abdominal wall lift more and you'll get more of a stretch here. And we try to avoid the stretch. Instead, we lift the tailbone and then the back gets very, very tight. So instead, pull down with the thumbs. Lift the abdominal wall. Breathe. Good. Press into the feet. Inhale, slowly come up. Turn the feet. Pause. Turn to the left side. Left foot out, right foot in. Use your hands on the back of the pelvis to pull down. Draw the belly in and up. The belly has a tendency to drop forward when we bend that knee. Don't let it. Inhale, exhale, bend the left knee. Keep pulling down on the sacrum. Keep pulling up on the abdomen. And then, am I letting go of this thigh? It's the same work that we do in Virabhadrasana 2. I have to let go here. I can't be gripping. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Good. Inhale, press into the feet. Turn the feet forward. Hook your thumbs. Inhale your arms forward and all the way up. Lengthen and reach. Belly in. Reach through the fingertips. Touch the ceiling with the fingers. And now bring the arms out to T position and rotate to the right. Arms out to the side. Now, without the hands on your sacrum, can you create the tailbone down, the belly pulling in and up, that big stretch on the back leg as you bend the front knee and release that thigh? Keep the arms spread, the chest lifted, tailbone down, abdominal wall in. Good, very good, Karen. Good. Mary, straighten that back knee a little bit more, push into the back. This is a classic pose again, where that concept of going forward and resisting with another part of the body. Good, press into the feet, slowly come back up. Turn your feet, bring your arms down for a moment. Pause. Change the hook of the thumbs. Inhale the arms forward and up, lengthen and reach. Go way up. Push the ceiling away, abdomen in, tailbone long, no gripping the throat, the tongue, or the jaw. Sweep the arms into T position, and now rotate to the left. Adjust the feet as you need to, that's perfectly fine. But before you bend that left knee, tailbone down, belly in and up. Inhale, exhale, release the top of that left thigh as you bend the knee forward. Does the pose feel different doing it with your arms out to the side? Because we get used to just doing warrior one with the arms overhead. Stay there and breathe. Good. Inhale, press into the feet. Slowly come back up. Turn your feet. Bend your knees, jump back together. Pause. Breathe. Use Tadasana to reestablish your feet, the calmness in your mind, the calmness in your breath. Inhale your arms to T position. Bend your knees. Jump your feet wide apart. Stay here, breathe. Keep the feet connected, abdomen in, chest lifted. Rotate the upper arm bones. Inhale the arms all the way up. Hook your thumbs at the top. Lengthen through those arms. Pull the arms up, pull the trunk up. Now turn to the right. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Abdomen up, tailbone down, arms up, chest up, sides of the trunk up. Breathe. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Inhale, slowly come back up from the press of the feet. Keep the arms up, let the arms pull you up. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 1 again. Don't turn forward. Don't turn forward. Inhale, exhale, Vira 1 again. Can I go deeper? Can I release that right top thigh more? Breathe. Inhale, come back up. Pause. One last time. Reach the arms up. Lengthen the sides. Inhale, exhale, bend the knee. What are you learning each time you do the pose? There's a value to doing poses more than just one time and turning and doing them to the other side. Good. Now, when you press into the feet, use the arms to lengthen yourself up, pull you up. Turn your feet forward. Bring your arms down by your sides into your hips. Pause for a moment. Breathe. Okay. Other side. Arms out to T position. Rotate the upper arm bones. Extend the arms up. Now change the hook of the thumbs. Pull yourself up. Pull the torso off the bowl of the pelvis. Pull the pelvis away from the torso. Turn your feet to the left. Now, tailbone down, belly in and up, sternum lifted, Virabhadrasana 1. Release that thigh bone. Drop it to the floor. Breathe. What side was more difficult? Do you have to let go on this side different from the other side? Press into the feet, slowly come back up. Inhale, deep inhale in, lengthen the arms. Exhale, bend to Virabhadrasana 1. Back leg resists. Some of you need to straighten that back leg more. I don't mind if the heel comes up slightly, but straighten that back leg. Belly in and up, sternum lifted. Good. Inhale, come back up. Pause. One last one. Inhale, exhale, bend. Go deeper. What have you learned? What can you refine? How can you make this pose more Virabhadrasana 1 today? Nice. Then press into the feet, have the arms pull you up, turn yourself forward, bend your knees, jump your feet together. Tadasana. Pause. Feet grounded, thighs back, belly in, chest lifted, breath smooth and even. Okay, arms out to T position. Bend your knees, jump your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out and your left foot in. Go a little bit wider with your legs. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Is it deeper now? Is it looser now? Is it easier now? Inhale, come back up. Turn the feet forward. Turn the right foot out, the left foot in. Use what you've learned from your previous poses. Bend to Virabhadrasana 2. Thigh bone drops, chest lifts, belly moves in strongly to support the spine and the lift of the chest. No gripping, no holding in the throat or the tongue. Inhale, come back up. Turn your feet. One last time, turn your right foot out, left foot in. Hook your thumbs. Go up, lengthen and reach. Inhale, exhale, bend to warrior 2. Inhale, reach. And then from there, can you turn into Virabhadrasana 1? You might need to adjust the back foot. Good. Kathy, lift your chest a little bit more. Bend a little bit deeper if you can. Yes, yes, there. Beautiful. Good. From the press of the feet and the pull of your arms, bring yourself back up. Turn your feet forward. Bring your arms down to your sides for a moment, onto your hips. Pause. And then change the hook of the thumbs. Inhale the arms forward, all the way up. Lengthen and reach. Last side. Lengthen the sides. Lift the chest. Tailbone down, abdomen in. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Release the left thigh bone down as you come into the pose. Keep your arms up if you can. Breath smooth and even. Good. Then from there, rotate into Virabhadrasana 1. Adjust the back foot as you need to. Breathe. Good, very nice. Okay, and then press into the feet, lift the arms, turn forward, release the arms down, bend your knees, jump together, Tadasana. Pause. And then downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so as you go up, pull your outer hips back. Release the sides of your neck. Don't tighten your throat or your jaw. And even though this is if you're using downward facing dog here as a recovery pose, you still need to think about, where do I need to do more and do less? So, can I lift the top 2 inches of those thigh bones up? Can I activate my legs so that they support me? So I'm not hanging in my shoulders or am I hanging in my arms? But everything is working. And the breath helps to support me in the pose. Okay, and then exhale, press back to child. You can bring your arms down by your feet, or back by your feet, I should say. Inhale, come slide your hands back up, come back to downward facing dog one more time. Lengthen the sides back, lengthen the trunk back, lift and lengthen the hips back. Legs working as much as the arms. Weight even between the hands and the feet. Good, then walk your feet forward to Uttanasana. Now you can choose to either have your feet together, slightly apart, or as wide as your mat if your hamstrings want that. But now, let the trunk release. Skin of the back body flowing towards the floor, the muscles of the back releasing, but the legs have to work. The legs have to be straight, knees have to be straight, the thigh bones have to lift. Sort of like the trunk is like a waterfall flowing off the pelvis. Okay, then sweep your hands back by your hips, concave your back, and come up to standing. All right, one last one. So we're going to come to the left side of the mat. I'm going to show you this first. You can use a block if you want to. You don't have to. But we're going to go into Ardha Chandrasana, not the usual way. I want your hands on your hips. I want you to step your right leg out, and then I want you to go right into Ardha Chandrasana. Why are we doing it this way? Because it's important to get out of our habits, and we're used to doing triangle, and then we step up carefully, and then so I want you to play with this. I want you to have fun with this. It's not whether you balance or not. So everyone, and decide whether you want to use a block or not. Come to the left side of your mat, hands on your hips. Turn your right foot out and step right into Ardha Chandrasana. Your hips are very open from the standing poses we've done. Is the pose a little different? Is there gripping in the mind because you're afraid of the balance? Don't lift your legs so high then. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Very nice, good. Step back with that leg and just come back into Tadasana with your hands on your hips. Pause. Then come to the right side of your mat. Use your block if you're using it, change it to where you want it. Hands on the hips. Turn your left foot out. Step right up into Ardha Chandrasana. Stay there, breathe. Beautiful, excellent, good. Where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? Very good. Come back, step back to Tadasana, pause. Okay, now we're going to set up for Shirshasana, headstand. If you are not doing headstand, you are going to be doing Prasari Padottanasana, standing wide angle with your head supported. So, for those of you who may not be familiar with that, if you're doing a headstand, just get your setup. We're going to go up together, so don't go up quite yet. If you're doing standing wide angle, you can use a chair, you can use a block, you can use a bolster. You're going to step your feet wide apart. You're going to come hands to the hips, elbows back. You're going to come forward with concave back, and you're going to hold that for a little bit. And then you're going to exhale, and you're going to bring your hands down. If you're using a chair, your head to the chair, or to a block, or to a bolster. But I want your head supported. If you can bring your head all the way to the floor, that's perfectly fine as well.
Hey, Bernadette,
Yes.
were we supposed to do the Vera 1 sequence to the left?
I'm sorry?
Were we supposed to do the Vera Padrasana 1 sequence to the left?
We did do it to the left, didn't we?
Oh, just did it to the right.
Which one? This is the last one where we bent 3 times?
Like we're in Vera 2 and then to Vera 1.
Is Sang going to make us do it again? All of a sudden, there are all these heads going, no, no, no. Thanks, Sang. If I missed that, sorry I missed it, but I didn't realize I missed that. Otherwise, I think we'll have to skip it.
Okay.
All right, let's come to the time to mention that would have been then, Sang. Okay, now let's come to either Shirshasana or Prasaripadottanasana. So place your hands if you're going up, then walk your feet in, and then either go up with one leg or jump your feet up. Okay, now, Shirshasana. Press your elbows down, broaden your shoulder blades away from each other, and lengthen the sides of the trunk up. Bring your awareness to your belly and draw that area right above the pubic bone in and up as you lengthen through the legs. Lengthen and reach and breathe. So in Shirshasana, where do I need to do more and where do I need to do less? Bring your awareness to your hands. Are you gripping the hands? The hands should be tightly interlaced, but not gripped. Again, years ago, I was told that the way you know when you're not gripping your hands is when you're in Shirshasana and you can change the interlace of your hands. We're not going to do that today, but think about that. Are you gripping and holding the pose with your hands? In Prasaripadottanasana, what's happening with your belly? The belly should not be gripped. It's engaged, it pulls back towards the spine, but don't grip there. And you allow the torso to flow to the floor. Where do I need to do more in Shirshasana? For many of us, it's rolling those thighs in strongly and then lengthening the tailbone to the heels. Is my weight in the front of my body? In Shirshasana, the weight is more in the back body. Another minute if you can hold it. For those of you in Prasaripadottanasana, you can hold it a little bit longer if you want to. Otherwise, you come up with a concave back, then all the way to standing, and then you can rest in child pose. Do that at your own pace, your own timing. Now in Shirshasana, can you bend your knees out to the side and bring your feet into Baddha Konasana? And here, the belly wants to go forward. Draw the belly in and up, lengthen the tailbone to the heels, spread the knees wide. Then draw the knees together and bring the feet into Virasana, back by the buttocks. So you've got to lengthen the thighs to the ceiling. You've got to draw the tailbone into the body. You have to pull the abdominal wall in and up. Good, and you have to keep pressing those forearms strongly as you lengthen the legs back up to full headstand. Couple more breaths here if you can manage it. Otherwise, you come down when you've had enough. And then, Elisa, draw the tailbone up higher, more. Low ribs back, There, yeah. Okay, and then with control, bend your knees or come down with straight legs, and then everyone Virasana, forward bend, child pose. Okay, and then slowly bring yourself up. Okay, so now you're going to lie on your mat for Chatuspadasana. So lie on your backs, knees bent, feet on the floor. Toes turned in slightly, heels slightly out. And butt and feet are fairly close to the buttocks, not too close, but don't have the feet way too far out. Okay, now take hold of the sides of your mat. Pull your mat away as you roll the shoulders under. Lift that upper back into the chest. Now rotate the upper arm bones more. Press into the feet and the arms and lift your buttocks. Now, when you come up, here's another pose. So, where do I need to do more? Where do I need to do less? What often happens is we're pushing with the throat or the chest. The press and the lift comes from the buttocks, the hamstrings, and the feet. That has to lift more. Ground your feet more, use your hamstrings more, lift more, and then where do I need to undo? The throat, the tongue, and the jaw. Inhale, exhale, slowly come down. Pause. Relax the arms, relax for a moment. Breathe. Once again, take hold of the sides of the mat. Roll your upper arm bones. Pull the mat away as you lift the chest into the back into the chest, and then press into the feet strongly as you begin to roll the buttocks up, lifting, coming to Chatuspadasana. Go up from the press of the feet, the hamstrings, the thighs. Don't tighten your throat, tongue, or jaw. Breath smooth and even. Inhale, exhale, come back down. Pause. One more time. Press into the feet, lift. What have you learned from the first two poses? And how can you refine this third final pose? Good. And then exhale, slowly come back down. Close your eyes, feel the pose. And then roll to your right side. Pause. Slowly come up. And now you're going to set yourself up for Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. If you're not doing shoulder stand, you're going to do Setu Bandhasana at the wall, if you've got one, with a block and a bolster. It's nice not to use a mat so that you can slide off at the end. But you'll set yourself up with your block at the wall, your bolster, you'll belt your ankles. If you have a second belt, you can belt your thighs. You bring your feet up the wall, you lie back on your bolster, and then, whoops, I'm gonna get closer. And then as you coil off the bolster, you coil your shoulders to the floor, till the tops of the shoulders come to the floor, and then you press your feet into the wall, hold your bolster, and slide yourself back. And if this is not enough of an opening, you can always put a long, full blanket on top of the bolster, if you have a squishy bolster. So don't go up into Sarvangasana yet, get your setup, and when you're ready, you can go into Halasana, and you're gonna stay there until everyone's all set to go up. And then if you're doing Setu Bandhasana, get yourself set up with your bolster, your blanket, if you need it, a block for your feet, or 2 blocks if you prefer it that way, and a belt. If you're going to Halasana, you don't have to go to the floor. Feel free to use a bolster for your feet, or you can go to a chair if that's better for you. Use a belt for your arms for Sarvangasana. That's always a good idea, because otherwise the elbows slide out. Now, once you're in Halasana, okay, you're going to lift the tops of the thighs to the ceiling. Hands are on your back for Halasana. Lengthen the sides of the trunk to the ceiling. Be on the crowns of your toes, don't curl the toes under, be on the tips of the toes. Thighs roll in, the inner groins lift to the ceiling. Walk your shoulders in a lot in Halasana. You have to walk the shoulders in. You can interlace the hands behind the back to help you do that. You want to feel the base of your neck lifted away from the blankets. The base of the neck is not flat on the blanket. Okay, then from there, use your hands, lift your legs one at a time, or go up with both legs into Sarvangasana. Now, look at your legs. The legs have to be straight. The thighs are rolling in, the groins are moving away from your face, the knees are straight, the inner edges of the feet, if possible, are touching, and the big toe ball mounds are touching, and you're pressing out through the ball mounds of the feet. Now, in Sarvangasana, what happens? So the weight gets heavy. We either let the belly come forward and we start bowing our legs back, or else we let the hips drop back and the legs pike. So what you have to do is use your hands to do more. Walk the hands down, rib, dig the forefinger and thumb into your back ribs and lift the back ribs up to the ceiling. Draw that abdominal wall. You can see your belly right above the pubic bone. Draw it strongly in and lengthen through the legs more. And where do I need to undo more? Is my throat or my tongue or my jaw getting tight? I should be able to have a conversation with someone in Sarvangasana without a change in my voice. Walk the fingers down again, one rib if you can, and lengthen up more. Elise, draw the tailbone in and the thighs back. Tailbone towards the chair, thighs back away from the chair. Feet a little bit more active, Sang. Press out through the ball mounts a little bit more, and the inner heels, lengthen them to the ceiling. Yes. Mary, move those thighs back. Thighs back. Thighs back. Weight in the elbows, weight in the hands. Okay, then from there, if it's available to you, bend your knees, coming into Baddha Konasana. Knees to the side, lift the abdominal wall in and up, and lengthen the tailbone to the ceiling. Don't drop back into the buttocks. Lengthen the sacrum to the ceiling. Breathe. Then bring the knees towards each other and the feet into Virasana. Lengthen the thighs to the ceiling. Lengthen the tailbone to the ceiling. Feet drop towards the buttocks. Abdomen in, sacrum and tailbone in. And one last time, extend the legs back to Sarvangasana, lengthening, reaching. And then exhale, come down into Halasana. Slowly, with control. Pause there. Then release your belt. Then extend your arms towards your feet if that's available to you. And then you can slowly roll out, either with straight legs or bending your knees, coming down to your support. Once your feet are on the floor, pause there for a breath or two, and then you can slide your shoulders off the support. Just bring the shoulders to the floor first. Then with the shoulders on the floor, you can draw your arms down by your sides and pause there, breathing. Feeling the effect of the pose. Those of you in Setu Bandhasana, bend the knees and then slide yourself off the support. And then slide yourself further off the support, Sarvangasana people, and cross your shins, and come off enough so that your buttocks is on the floor, and then cross your shins on your support. And Setu Bandhasana people, you can cross your shins on your bolster if you haven't done so already. Or you can extend your legs if that feels better for your back. Okay, and then bend your knees, roll to your right side, and set yourself up for Shavasana. You can use a blanket for your head. Because of all the standing pose work with the thighs, it's very nice to put blankets, if you have several, or a bolster on top of your thighs to help your thighs release more. When you go down with bent knees and lower your trunk first to be sure that you're straight and even. And then once you're down there and you let the back relax, then you can extend the arms and the legs. Now, Shavasana is the classic pose of undoing. So as you lie here, soften the muscles of your face, the throat, the jaw. Let the arms and the legs flow from your body. The belly is softening and spreading. The buttocks is softening and letting go. And here, the challenge is, how much can you let go? How much can you undo? So there's no holding, no gripping, but we do that. You know, seek those areas and let them go. Use the breath to let them go. And then bring your awareness back to the surface. Bend your elbows one at a time. Place your hands on your chest or your belly and thank your body. And use your hands, if you have a prop on you, to slide the prop off to the left. And then slowly bend your knees one at a time. Hug your knees into your chest if you'd like to before rolling over to your right side. And then turning the left side of your chest closer to the floor, slowly bring yourself back up to sitting.